Hey there, my friends, it's Brad the Bearded Piper, and I hope you all are having a great day. It's Sunday, August 10th, 2025, and I just got back from the Columbus Pipe Show where I had a wonderful time. I didn't get to go last year because we had to put a motor in my wife's van, and I had to suck it up and be an adult and say, Brad, don't spend money on your hobby when you have to be a big boy and spend it on a necessity. And I did it, and I didn't whine and cry and pout, or at least not where anybody could see me. And this year, man, I just sure made up for it with having so much fun and enjoying the company of my fellow pipe enthusiasts in the smoking tent. Uh, I was very fortunate this year. My friend Chris from the Pittsburgh Pipe Club, he came to my house and we rode together. I drove, and we had wonderful conversation in a 3-hour drive there, and a wonderful conversation in a 3-hour drive back. It's nice that drive between just south of Pittsburgh and Columbus on Route 70 by yourself can be a tad bit boring. Catch up on podcasts and audiobooks and things like that, but still, it's a boring drive. Um, I'm going to touch base real quick on the folks that I got to see again. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper, Uncle Willie, Greg Tunneltake, um, let's see, Captain Kirk, Nate and Justin from the Pipes, Pours, and Pals podcast. I love those two guys. I really do. The dynamic that they have in their podcast is just incredible. Unfortunately, I have a couple back episodes I need to get caught up on. Kane Rod Piper, Andre Tessier, who I've only known him as the man in the fez. He sat down at our tent last night, and I was hoping to be in bed by 10, and I think it was quarter after midnight. I was headed upstairs because we were just having a great time laughing and talking and enjoying life. Of course, my two pipe mentors, John and Homer, they were there. Always enjoy spending time with those two guys. They're the ones who taught me how to be a pipe smoker, how to pack a pipe, how to keep it lit, what to look for in blends, all of those things. Those two guys are, they're my Encyclopedia Britannica for those of us old enough to understand. And for those of us that aren't old enough to understand, John and Homer, you guys are my Wikipedia. How about that? So now, let me just touch base real quick on some of the things that I managed to pick up. And I'm actually going to go in order of how I bought them and touch base a little bit on who I bought them from. First and foremost, I saw Crystal from the Happy Piper. Unfortunately, Travis wasn't able to go. They're running their store, and he had to mind the business. But Crystal was there, and 2 years ago, I bought a blue Nording Compass. And John and Homer and my pals, they like to tease me about my blue pipe. It's a fantastic performing pipe, super lightweight, but the last thing they said to me when I went wandering off on my own was, Brad, don't buy another blue pipe. So I didn't. I bought an orange one. It's a Nording Compass. I picked this up from Crystal. If she had one, this was definitely a priority for me to pick up an orange compass while I was at the show. And I'm going to be honest, if somebody else had it and she didn't, I wouldn't have bought it. I love supporting the Happy Piper, and unfortunately, over the last few months, I haven't been able to participate as much as I would like to. They're fantastic people, and I absolutely love these compasses. Next, I walked around and I looked for my buddy. And when I say my buddy, I only ever really talked to him at the show. But if you ever get an opportunity to meet and talk to Ron Smith from Rand's Pipes, he is possibly one of the nicest men you will ever meet. And he makes, in my opinion, out of all of the pipes I have, the absolute best performing pipes. And they're affordable, and they're good looking, and he's just a nice guy to talk to. And part of that may be, the reason that I think these pipes smoke so wonderful is definitely because of the engineering, definitely because of the craftsmanship, definitely because of the thought put behind them, but also because of the personality of the man who makes them. And I already own two. I picked a Rans up at my first pipe show, and then I picked one up the following year at my second pipe show, and I picked up this beauty this year. I love this blue ring on here, this little bit of rustication at the bottom. That's kind of Rand's signature shape there, and or I shouldn't say Ron's signature shape there. And man, I just, it's just fantastic. It fits in my hand well, and I got this on Friday night, and I'll bet you I already have 3 or 4 bowls through it. I just absolutely love this pipe. On the way in the door, the very first table I stopped at was S&M Pipes. Now, they have a very unique logo on their t-shirt. I had a t-shirt from 2 years ago, and out of nowhere, the armpit ripped out, and I had to pick up another one. But they were busy, they were talking to somebody, and I picked up a pipe. And I looked at it, and I looked at the price, and it was unbelievably reasonable for a handcrafted, gorgeous pipe. But I put it back down. I walked up the next row, and I looked over, and it was still there. It was 2 rows over, and I looked over everybody to see if it was still there, and it was still there. So finally, I made my way back after talking to a bunch of people, and I thought for sure, there's no way that pipe is still there. And I got to the table, and guess what? It wasn't. It was gone. But it wasn't gone. It was just moved. Somebody picked it up and put it in a different spot. And I picked it up, and I was looking at it, and I told the guy, I want this pipe. And he said, what? And I said, I want this pipe. And he laughed. I bought a t-shirt. I got the pipe. And this thing is just gorgeous. Again, unbelievably reasonably priced artisan pipe. Craftsmanship is just gorgeous, and it is a phenomenal performer. Again, I've probably had 2 or 3 bowls through this pipe. It's probably why my voice is a little rough. I'm a little Wolfman Jacking it today. So after that, I walked back to the Happy Pipers table, and I've always wanted a bent falcon, and I picked one up. This is a Falcon Extra because of its color, and this is a kind of a charcoal color bowl that I got for it. And this one has, do you see on this, the mouthpiece is considered to be a multi-purpose. There's a couple indentations here on the top and the bottom for your teeth. And then there's a little bit of an overhang here for you to be able to grab, to be able to clench. Now they make one called I think it's called a dental, where the top sticks out pretty far. It's like a thumbnail that needs to be clipped off. And that's designed to actually catch your top tooth, to be able to hang. I didn't think I'd like that, but I do think that I'm gonna like this. Now, I haven't had an opportunity to enjoy this pipe yet, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool color, and you know, I've wanted a bent one for a while, and Crystal had one. So that was it for Friday. I was proud of myself. I still had a lot of my budget that left, and I've been saving since last year to go. And I thought, I'm done, no more. Saturday, got up, had some breakfast, walked around the show briefly, stopped twice at Ron's table, Ron Smith, and looked at a pipe. Went the next time, I looked at the same pipe. Then I went outside, and I was sitting in the tent, and somebody said, are you going back on the show? And I said, no, I'm trying to avoid a table. And that table I was trying to avoid was Ron's table, because I was trying to save some money. Don't know why I was trying to save some money, but I was trying to save some money. And I went back with my buddy Homer, and I showed him this pipe, and he said, yeah, you need to get that. And it's my very first Morta pipe. And look at that stem. Isn't that stem beautiful? But the bowl itself, it's smooth. It's amazing. And again, It's a Ron Smith pipe, and it's an unbelievably good performer. This thing is just absolutely amazing. So now I'm up to 4 Rand's freehands, and I have on my desk, I have a place for 5 pipes, and all 4 of these pipes will be in that desk. The 5th spot will still be for my Naked Tinsky, because that's a great performer as well. And these are going to be the pipes that I most likely will enjoy for the majority of the week when I'm in my office working. And finally, the last thing, oh, I did pick up a blend. I only picked up 1 blend. There was a lot of tins there, really great deals to be had. But I was walking by and I saw that Redeem Pipes had some Miskatonic mixture, and I really like this stuff. It's a, let's see, oh, that makes sense. Let's see, it is a pinch of granulated Perique over a bed of Catarini and Virginia, finished with a dash of sweet black Cavendish to cure the madness. Now, I will tell you that I love Perique, and I absolutely love the Catarini. And the Birds of a Feather series that had the Catarini Perique, perfect. And the raffle, I won a pipe. I was so excited that I won a pipe. And now, this is gonna, if John's watching this, John's gonna be like, I told you that's not how you pronounce it. But I was curious. I looked up the carver, and I was listening to a Pipes Magazine radio program interview, and it is pronounced Robert Bacher. And I won this wonderful poker from the Pipe Club's raffle. And boy, I tell you what, this thing is an amazing performer. I have it loaded up for the very first time with some 12-year-old 3 Friars from Cornell and Dill. This tin actually left a loud bang and exploded ribbon all over my friend Chris in the front seat of my car whenever we were on our way out. But this stuff is sweet, and it's just astonishingly good. So I am 2.5 minutes over my goal of staying under 10 minutes, or 10 minutes or less. So with that said, I'm going to say, hey, everybody, I hope to see you next year at the Columbus Pipe Show. Unfortunately, I can't make it to Indy or Richmond. They're both on the same day, but my wife and I are showing our dogs that weekend. So I hope you all have a great time there, and hopefully I'll get to see you again before then, if not in person, but communicating through my videos or text messages or however. And remember, life is good, but is better with a pipe.